All right, Ultimate Hoops Nation. I'm Aaron Wimsett. I'm here with Jason Briggs. This is This Week in Rec, Week 7 edition. How you feeling?
I'm tired. This 2 games in a week is awful.
Me too. My knees are killing me. So let's get to it. This week's games tonight. Really nothing to talk about. I think there wasn't one game within 15 points.
Our game was.
They caught up at the end. You're right.
9 because of Tony DeBoer being ridiculous. I told him to stop making threes, and he just continued to do it. So I think he had 9 tonight, 9 threes. Wow. So he was unbelievable.
So let's talk Bloomington South. There were some good games over there. Probably the game of the week. We had the Squires versus the Rebels. Real close game. The Squires were without Martin. How do you say his last name? Martinchik. Martinchik.
And then I think Brandon Fort was gone too.
So Squires missing two pretty good pieces, and they still could have should have won. They got down by I think they were down to about 6 at halftime. It got to about 10, and then they came all the way back. About 8 seconds left in the game. Hamill drives, kicks it out to Cooper. What's his name? Marshall Cullen. Drains a 3. Squires had a few fouls to give. There's about 4 seconds left, I think, and the Rebels won Cody Hines off a screen, and he hits about an NBA range 3. Yeah. Your thoughts on that game, and how would you defend the?
Interesting end of the game, and I can't fault Matt Hamill for what he did, but there was a ball that got thrown into the backcourt, and the only one who ran for it was Paul Ferber, and I think he grabbed it with about 7 seconds left, and he starts making his break for the basket, and with 4 seconds left, Hamill reaches in and fouls Ferber and allows him to kind of set the offense, and that leads to Cody making I don't know if he was fouled, but the defense was all over him. That was just a heck of a shot. But the tough decision is, do you foul Ferber there? And if it was a guard, absolutely. You have fouls to give, absolutely foul. But, and I think even Paul would admit this, he's not Mr. Ball Handler. He's not the worst ball handler in the league by no means, but he's not like the guy who's going to make or break the move. So do you kind of let him go being up 2 to see if he's going to make it or not, or turn the ball over, or do you foul? And so I'm thinking if the Squires could redo it, they might let him go rather than have them set the play up. But that was the tough call. Instinct, it's, hey, we've got a foul to give, boom, let's get him. But I think it may have cost him. Well, it did cost him.
Yep. And you never, there always would have, should have. Right. But I guess it kind of blew my mind that they didn't have, I don't know who got picked, but I think it was Hamill. Why didn't they have him roll over the top of it? Yeah,
it's one of those tough situations where you don't want the guy to get the ball and then pass it to the wide open guy down low too. End of the game, it should be switching all screens. Even a guy like me with 3 seconds left, we should 3-4 seconds left. We switch screens to make sure you have a hand in someone's face. So it's a tough way to lose.
Yep.
Great performance.
It's a great game. We had the Crusaders and the Shockers. Another pretty good game. Both teams, I think, were 3-3 going into the game. Kind of, you could call it like a bubble game. Whoever won was gonna for sure get into the playoffs. Yeah,
I think the Crusaders, their toughness definitely came through in that game. I think the Shockers actually probably have a little bit more basketball talent, but I don't think they can match the physicality of the Crusaders, and I think that's what the scoreboard reflects. That pushes the Crusaders up to 4 wins, so they're in. But Shockers, don't worry, we'll probably talk about you in a little bit. I think they're fine.
Only if you show up with the whole team.
Yeah. Yes.
I actually think if the Shockers had a full team, it would have been a different story.
Was Dustin gone?
Dustin was gone, and what's his name? Anthony
Tyson?
Tyson.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He's good. What else we got? So then we had the Broncos beat the Gorillas by 13. The Broncos now moved to 6-1. The Gorillas were without Maher
And Martin.
and Justin Martin, who is their leading scorer. What are your thoughts on the game, and do you think Maher and Martin make the difference if they showed up?
I'm a little biased, but I think they're their two best players. So I think they definitely make a difference. Justin is still the most underrated player in the league. He's the one guy I will openly recruit every week and just tell him, hey, you'd be starting on my team. And I do it. I go to their bench and I tell him that every week he's here. So I love the guy. I want him on the Justin, please play with us next season. You take weeks off, you can pick your minutes. I got a spot for you. But then Maher you saw him tonight. He's awesome. I knew Chris wasn't going to be there because I think he signed up early. He made that deadline, and then he's going to reappear in the playoffs. But new baby, guy's a good dad. He wants to get introduced to his kids. So, but yeah, I think it's a different game. But the Broncos were missing Rob, another key piece. So I think it would have been a different game. I can't say the outcome would have been different as far as the Broncos could still win. I don't think they win by 13, but they could still win.
Then we had the Muskies. You were thankful they lost.
I was happy. I like giving Junius and Casey shit too. So crap. I like giving crap. I think their half court defense is so good that I think they kind of waste their guys on that press once in a while. It's a great thing to pull out once in a while, but the entire game, Red Devils struggle on half court offense. So why not just utilize your great on-ball D and pick up at half court rather than give them a chance to get free buckets?
So this week your first Briggsitology.
Yeah, I had to dust off the old typing fingers because it's been a while. So first one's always rough. I apologize, and I didn't want to go into the rankings because a few different personal reasons. But yeah, it was good to be back.
So I think we're up to a few comments on it. It's a pretty good argument, I think, and I think it's been an argument for a while, as far as Fridley versus Bloomington. For example, a 7-1 Rebels team versus an undefeated Avengers team. When the Players Committee goes and seeds the teams, who is higher? Because history kind of has it that Bloomington South is the better league. So what are your thoughts on that? And how do you think the Players Committee's voted over time, and how do you think they'll vote this year?
I like to divide the teams into 3 tiers. Fridley has always had a couple top-tier teams, like Tier 1. And these are playoff teams, so Tier 1, and then not a lot of Tier 2, and then a lot of Tier 3. And Tier 3 is your kind of 12 to 20 range, and Tier 2 is more of your 5 and 6 to 12 range. So I think Paul makes some good points. The anonymous guy makes some good points, and Jeff Smith makes some good points about cupcakes because, fat guys love cupcakes. But it's really tough to say, hey, club, hey, Killer Bees, great job this season. You beat one good team. And I think the Avengers, even though, and we've played like garbage this season, but we're probably the only elite team that they've beaten this season. Where you have the Rebels who have beaten the Gorillas, have beaten the Squires, are playing the Broncos. There's so many, beat Big Smash. They have so many wins over teams that are going to be ranked somewhere between 4 and 12 that the breadth of their schedule and just the whole summation of their entire season is so much better than what you're getting in Fridley. And I know the club didn't play the Bucks and they play the Cudas, but that's 2 wins. And I would say for the Rebels, playing the Crusaders is not like playing the Barracudas. Crusaders are good. And even Lights Out, who blew their playoff chances Wednesday by only showing up with 4, they're not scrubs either. So I don't think the cupcakes in Bloomington that were mentioned were even on the Rebel schedule. So it's going to be tough. But then you got the other thing is that you can only play the teams on your schedule. Right. It's who shows up. The Killer Bees didn't say, hey, Noe and Greg don't show up to the game. They beat who was there. So it's going to be quite the debate. I know a few people who will side with the Rebels already, and I know a few who are going to side with the club and Killer Bees. So it'll be a long night.
Yeah, I mean, I can personally say that I had the Avengers ranked 2 and the Rebels ranked 1 last year, and I mean the Avengers won, so I mean that might change my mind this year. And Fridley has run the last 3 Gold Cups, so it's kind of on to or keeping on the topic of your article. After tonight, I think we both agree that about 19 teams are for sure in.
There could be something weird, but looking at the top, there's 19 teams right now with 3 wins. I think you're all safe. And then there's 3 teams that have a chance to get to 3 wins. The Vikings have the toughest route, I believe. I think they play the Red Devils.
They play them.
Oh, they play them. They play them. So even though the Vikings have looked a lot better the last few weeks, that's still going to be a tough game. And them wants to get to 500. So I think they're going to have a tough time getting that 3rd win. Then there's the whatchamacallits, who have 2 chances to get to that 3rd win. Blue Chips and Squids. I think the Blue Chips take them, but I think they beat the Squids. So that puts them up at 3 wins. And with wins over last minute, the Squids, and the Vikings. And then you have the replacements, who beat the Bucks and the Barracudas, and they play the Players Club. So they probably have the 2nd best chance of getting 3 wins.
It's still a pretty tough game.
But it's a tough game, yeah. I mean, as I saw tonight, right? Players Club's a good team. So I think if they all end up with 3 wins, the Vikings get in because they beat the Red Devils. If only 2 teams end up with it, and it's the replacements and the whatchamacallits, I would put the replacements in because beating the Players Club is better than anything the whatchamacallits did.
Vikings really beat the Red Devils?
If they win. Right, that would be their 3rd win. And the replacements beating the Players Club, them. I keep doing that. Them would be a better win. So they would be in. Sorry, Red Devils. Then it would be, next in line would be replacements if they beat Players Club, and then the whatchamacallits. But I think the whatchamacallits will get in just because they have the easiest game. So it'll be nice to see a free agent team get in. If you're on some of those other teams, you better start looking for college players because they look like 3 legit wins to me. So, I think.
Anything else?
No, I mean, we were going to dissect the 53-man roster, but we might as well wait till next week because I'd like to see how a few of the backup linebackers perform in the 3rd preseason game.
Yeah, we'll do the Vikings next week and then the Miami Dolphins for Reed the following week.
0-16. We can just do that one now.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. I think they got Fiedler back, right? Okay. I think they did.
Did they?
Yeah.
I heard Brady Quinn was starting, but
there's some Notre Dame fans that are really upset with you right now. That was a low blow.
No?
Some Irish
They
Catholics
picked him
are
up.
really
They
angry.
picked him up.
Well, they probably picked him up for his hair. No one takes off their helmet and looks. I mean, Tom Brady and Brady Quinn. That's probably top 2 for not messing up the do. So.
Well, that's it for this week. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.